Everybody. Welcome to tonight's episode of Hallstatt By Night. Yes, we are live now. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you again, as always. Before we get into our session, our 11th session, named Heresy, appropriately, I think, we will introduce this wonderful and colourful cast of kindred this night, starting with Lukas.
Hi everyone, I'm Satanic__Bunny, and I am playing the group's Hecata, sometimes known as Dr. Andrew Miles, but Lukas Rosselini, part of the Hecata.
Hello, everyone. I am Unemployed Writer, aka Chris, playing the lovable Setite Matthew Deacon, man of God and dealer with the devil.
I'm Jonno. I am playing Kage, the group's the Sombre.
And I am Novatorium, the pain in the ass, Banu Hakim, by the name of Knives.
And I am Ethan, resident torturer and psychoanalyst. All of the above. And therapist. All of the above. Which shouldn't go together. But anyway, moving on quickly. Tonight, I usually begin with a recap of what happened last time in Hallstatt By Night. As per usual, our wonderful and colourful cast of kindred can interrupt me at any time. Feel free to just jump in, just say any of the notes you want to add that you think is relevant, or something cool your character did, or something you really want us to know about. Feel free to jump in and do so. Now, let's begin the recap. Last time on Hallstatt By Night, our characters began by splitting up and gathering their resources. Kage went off to gather a special-made shield for the ancient Salubri, after which he applied it onto him with a nod of approval. He even went further by painting an elegant symbol of two wolves leaping away from the moon on the shield with paint, glue, and salt to protect them, before they regrouped with Lukas and Matthew, organizing their assault on the hospital. Knives and Seraphina, the last Tremere of Hallstatt, had some time alone to chat, both expressing their loss at what to do. After some discussion, Matthew underwent a harm compulsion and unleashed his fury upon Knives through their phone, causing her to break her phone as a response, dashing it across the floor. Their discussion was cut short as the demonic creature appeared outside of the church where Knives and Seraphina stayed, and proposed to make a deal with Knives. If she destroys the cane of Dr. Eli, a toreador they met some time ago that seems to tie into everything happening in town, the creature can help. Afterwards, she turned to Seraphina, who explained that she saw nothing, and that it was just Knives speaking in tongues the entire time. The group then regrouped back at the church, where they gathered all their current allies, Vercingetorix, the ancient Salubri, and Seraphina. Vercingetorix healed Knives' superficial willpower damage through a small act of kindness through Valerin, and regained calm across all the kindred there. Matthew gave everyone a short speech, and along with Lukas suggesting that she make it hurt, Seraphina grimly nodded to Knives, knowing what she must do. Together they engaged in their plan to recover Rhiannon Zeitman's body, the first victim, so that they can engage in this ritual to exorcise the demon. There, they engaged in battle with a variety of insect-like Schlachter that had infested the hospital, Lukas's workplace. Kage and Vercingetorix worked well together as shield and sword, eviscerating anything in their way. Knives was fast, and the haunted knife she used cut straight past skin and flesh to hit vital organs and bone. Lukas brought the air around the creatures to rot and sped the process of their decay just with their aura alone. Matthew brought a surprising viciousness through his Protean shift, a serpent's fang-like blade that cut through the head of his foe. But the success was cut short with the appearance of a great leviathan of a Vosged that wore Agent Penny's face. The group worked together to keep the creature back while Seraphina prepared a powerful blood sorcery, which she unleashed. It changed the blood within the creature into blades that sliced it from the inside out into ribbons. However, Seraphina was badly burned and lost a lot of blood, acting almost drunk afterwards. Lukas took the opportunity to carve off Agent Penny's face and keep it in a sealed bag as a prize. Matthew took the body of Rhiannon out on a gurney and placed it into the back of the van. Afterwards, they drove home and congratulated each other, Lukas succumbing to a harm compulsion as well and showing people his prize as a result, except the knives. The group made their way back to the church to rest. Matthew made his way towards the lake, Hallstatt Sea, and asked out for the demonic creature. He spoke with the creature and made a deal. He would destroy the cane of Dr. Eli if the creature kills Adelaide, Isaac, and the Tzimitzi of the town before the two go their separate ways. The creature agreed and gave Matthew a flaming contract, which he signed, for better or for worse. It is now, as the kindred relax back to rest, we find ourselves this night. Still fairly in the middle of the night tonight. Past midnight, only about 1 a.m. But Seraphina, we are underneath the church. Seraphina is in the furthest bed away, wrapped in a blanket, shivering. You can see occasionally her arm hangs out, and you see the black marks across her arms, like someone's dragged fingernails all the way through, all around it, that sort of are black and burned and have these little cinders that actually come off into it and flake off into the air before they disappear into dust. And they emanate a heat when you put your hands nearby. She sort of whispers to herself in a delirium, shaking back and forth underneath the blankets. It is here we find our kindred, all 4 of them, alone underneath the church. And I will leave the scene to you 4.
So Matthew's returned then.
At this point, if you would like to, unless there's anything else you'd like to do, Mr. Deacon.
I would like to, when I come back to the church, kneel at one of the pews. I'm assuming Father Lucio is upstairs. I give him a courtesy nod.
He has been mopping, cleaning as usual. He's probably on his way out to go and check on the grave sites just below. So he gives you a nod as he steps out of the church and goes down there. Perhaps he's checking if Demetia is home or something like that.
So Matthew walks to one of the pews, kneels down, puts his hands together and head down. And he starts to pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. I'm sure you've heard that countless times by now, haven't you? I hope you can hear me right now. I thought, my Lord, I thought you'd show me everything that there is. When I learned of the deception of the apostles, I knew that you were the greatest con man here. But little did I know that you were merely leading me through more gates, more things to test myself. You do indeed work in mysterious ways, my Lord. And you have shown me many great things. Now, I hope my actions tonight, well, I hope that they will be satisfactory to you as you watch from afar at this great play. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Enjoy the show, my crimson god. Stands up and makes his way down.
When Mr. Deacon makes his way downstairs, what does he see the others doing down here?
I think Lukas would definitely be keeping an eye on Seraphina, not really going up to them, but just kind of always keeping her in sight. He doesn't know if she's going to suddenly combust. Who knows? He's no Tremere. But he does have Sense the Unseen active, just in case.
Knives is furthest away from the wall that the creature came out of, and she's just sitting in a bunk, carving a piece of wood into a figurine.
Kage is waiting and trying to think of our next move. He is, let's say, near the hole where the creature was, looking out and keeping watch. So deep in thought while watching out the hole then.
Yeah, that's the thing is Knives, you point out where this creature like reached through the stone and almost tried to reach at you, but there's this thin layer, almost like a wrapping of some kind that pulled it back and wouldn't let it touch you. But when you look back, there's no hole, there's no destruction of the stone that actually happened. Seraphina explained this briefly by saying you were merely speaking in tongues while this was happening. Perhaps it was a vision of some kind. Luckily, Kage, there are like chips in the stone. It's not perfect. Like all the winters and things have actually worn away the brickwork of this place. And there are thin layers where the wind actually comes through that you can actually perfectly align yourself with and get a good view of outside. And I imagine that's where we find him now. And Vercingetorix is just leaning up against the wall. His big body, like nearly twice the size of two of these beds, sitting down, and just sort of tapping his arm, which has the shield strapped onto it now, down onto the ground, and observing Seraphina with a concerned look across his face. This is what you see, Mr. Deacon, as you take the steps down into the room.
I'll look at Vercingetorix and I'll just say, good.
Good.
Very good. And I'll kind of sit down somewhere and just wait to see who sees something first in the group.
Well, let that be me then. I'll be like, Matthew, you've returned. Have you any thoughts as to what we should do? If the night is still young, we should do something. We shouldn't let the night waste away.
Indeed, the night is young. And perhaps we shouldn't let it waste away. But I haven't got any immediate thoughts.
We have everything we need for the ritual, am I right?
Everything but the poodle cane.
Once we get that, we can do said ritual then. But if we exhaust our efforts getting the cane tonight, that might not leave us much room for anything else. And then we would have to wait a day.
And I don't exactly want to go to Dr. Realize, have a long, drawn-out fight, and then suddenly have to rush back when the sun is creeping up.
We are all still tired from our fight we just had. Maybe a night's rest and preparation would be something.
Maybe. How about to get to know each other? We've been together for, what, this whole time? Barely even know any of you. So I drag one of the chairs into the middle and I just sit down. Just a thought to get our minds off as I look at Rhiannon's dead body, because I'm assuming that's here, right? To get our minds off the disastrous things that have happened to us this week.
Almost too many to count.
Yeah, maybe a trip down memory lane will, I don't know, help ground us.
I won't pull up a chair, but I will get down and kind of kneel on my knees, kind of like how they do in Japan. They don't really need chairs as such. They'll just on the floor.
How did you start working with Isaac, Matthew?
Well, as stereotypical as it sounds for my clan, I looked for the drugs. And he was
Why?
the man for the drugs. What about
Why
you?
are
How did you
drugs
start?
so
Hmm?
important? Why are the drugs so important?
Because it's a commodity. It's a resource. It's something anyone wants but can't easily get. And I am here to provide that. Just like I'm here to provide the Lord's word, I am also here to provide his great bounties to those in need.
You don't really care that you're ruining people's lives?
I like to think I'm liberating them, freeing them from the shackles that society put them under.
I don't think you are freeing them, Matthew, because, like I said, you're destroying their lives. You're destroying the future. You are putting people at jeopardy. Like, I'm no newbie to this. I did exactly the same thing when I was alive. I got thrown out of university and then got pulled into this whirlwind. I got treated like shit. I got beaten. And then somehow I ended up dead, but the wrong kind.
Or the right kind.
Well, I ended up here with you, so.
Who beat you?
Like the people that were running all the drug trade.
Why?
Because I wasn't delivering fast enough. I wasn't keeping the uptake under their control.
You're painting a very wide brush there, Knives. You've had this terrible experience, and I'm sorry about that.
Well, no, it's people like you that cause these terrible experiences.
People like me?
Yes. You think you're liberating? No, you're not.
Name one person that I haven't helped to try to pull out of the muck that they find themselves in. Everyone needs an escape. This world is too fucked up. I try to help as best as I can. I'm sorry you had a bad experience, Knives, but don't paint me under that brush.
What did Isaac say to you when you were inside that building?
He wanted to burn this whole place down.
Hallstatt.
Metaphorically, of course. He was angry.
He's looking to cut ties, maybe.
Salt the earth was the vibe I got.
Do you mind providing me his contact number?
Can't. Lost my phone at the hospital, I think.
But surely you know his number off by heart by now.
Of course he does. Because he's really good at helping people.
I have a theory. And if I call and he picks up, then I'm wrong. It's rare, but it happens. If one of his allies pick up,
and doesn't know him.
yes.
I see what you're putting down. I assume I'll remember Isaac's number.
You've been working together for a while. You could probably input it blindfolded.
Okay. All right. Give him the number. You know, because I like helping people.
As soon as you make the call, Lucas, it rings. It does not ring, actually. it simply goes to a dial tone and it simply says, "The number you have called is no longer available."
Right again, it seems.
Well, can't do much about that.
So we don't have Adelaide or their support. We don't have Isaac or their support.
Fuck him. We didn't need him.
Oh no, I hate him. But he could have been useful for this moment.
It reminds me, did you think Adelaide had been kidnapped? Was that a thing?
Either kidnapped, killed, dare I venture into the darker vistas of morbidity and say that perhaps she terminated on her own. She seemed
Surely not.
very upset with Isaac. I've never seen her like that before. And we did hand over her dirt. So.
But we hand over dirt. That doesn't mean it was of our own accord. That obviously it could be to do with the dirt.
I'm just saying that for whatever reason, they are no longer pieces on the board for us to move around or appeal to.
Is that such a bad thing?
We could have used her.
We could still put her piece back on the board. If she's been captured or set out action, we could find her and put her back.
How do you suggest we do that?
I don't know. I don't think. I mean, we're dismissing it as an option altogether, and we don't even know what's happened with her.
Be my guest.
We could look for her, I suppose. It's just, it's coming down to impossible decisions with no time.
It could be us soon.
It could.
We all prepared for that? Has everyone got their affairs in order?
I just think this is all just so terribly rude.
Rude is the way to put it.
I mean, is inconvenient, impolite. Just, I don't understand what's to gain here. Power, they're immortal. Magic, eat a Tremere. A terrible thing to say, but clearly we are dealing with terrible entities. If they wanted a shortcut, surely they would have just cannibalized. But no, they had to go a step further. I don't understand what they want.
We're talking about Dr. Eli right now.
Whoever's behind all this, which I'm suspecting.
I think maybe this is my biases coming into it, but I think there's something more theological in nature.
You're suggesting that they want Satan to rise up from the pits of hell and the angels to blow their trumpets?
Maybe not. Who knows what goes through the mind of zealots? I sure as shit ain't one, as I give knives a look.
What'd you say?
I said, who knows what goes in the minds of zealots? I'm sure not one.
What are you trying to say?
It was meant to be a little jab that, you think I'm a God religious man, and, it's fine. Don't worry.
What else do you think I think?
I think that the judge in you, that little voice, that little judge, little spark that's wanting to pound the gavel down, looks at me and wants to judge me. I think that if you were to give in to that, you'd tear me apart right here and feel good about it. That's what I think.
Well, probably. Your clans are diametrically opposed. You seek to liberate people from anything and everything, I suppose, and the judges judge. So,
Order, chaos.
so it's very serendipitous that we have both in close company. And two individuals that have been touched by the abyss as well. How quaint.
It's like a grand old story that some unknown force weaved to bring us all together.
What, your god?
Maybe. Probably.
No.
The judge, the liberator, the shadow, the death.
Yeah, I suppose, but there's also the rose, the crown, the pale wolf, I don't even remember his name anymore. I just remember that he put the dirt in my car and I'm over it. It's fine.
But they're not main players here. They're not the ones who are looking into this. They're not the ones who are trying to solve all this. They're not the ones at the
Were
center.
they not in league with Dr. Eli? Did they not help them?
Isaac was. So we know.
Well, if they signed a deal with the devil, I hope they burn.
But I feel like we've gone off my original intention here. Started off with an interrogation of me. So how about we interrogate someone else? Kage. You don't exactly look like a person of Japanese persuasion. I think the word is, what's the word for it? Gaijin? Is that what they call you?
Yeah. The reason why I take on so many traits is that's where I was born the second time, if you know what I mean. Not my original birthplace, but where I was reborn.
I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
See, I heard a little rumor.
As did I.
I made sure to look up all of you, talk to my contacts after we made contact. No offense, I just needed to know who I was dealing with. But I heard a rumor that you greatly dislike the water. That you had a bad experience with something called the swim. Now, why in God's name would you come to a place that has a huge body of water like this? Looking to face your fears?
It wasn't the water as such. It's called a swim, but do you know what it actually is?
No, enlighten me.
As Knives knows, like, not everybody gets sired of their own accord. Sometimes you just find yourself in this position. Like, one day you're who you were, and now you are who you are now. Sometimes, in cases of, we've got Camarilla here and whatnot, they don't take too kindly to when people are sired without permission as such. My sire sired me without this permission, and when I was deemed of no use to him, he disowned me as such. Didn't take responsibility for me, I should say, and I was subjected to the swim. Now, what that is when they cut off your arms and your legs and your tongue, and in my case, they took out my eyes as well. And they chuck you into a lake, and you either live out the rest of your days there or not, or you come back like I did. I spent about I think it was 4 to 5 months in absolute silent blackness, and there was nothing.
That's where you learn to meditate.
My thoughts were my only friends. There was nothing else. I couldn't see. I couldn't speak. There was nothing to hear. That was my swim. It's not the water I'm afraid of as such. That's all that awaits us, as far as I can see, is dark blackness. And I guess by getting close to it, I learn to shackle those fears. I become like that old story they're all talking about, the one in the bats. Become what you fear most, and through that you conquer it and become stronger.
Well, you definitely have become the darkness.
I have a question. What matters to you? What anchors you to keep living?
To me,
Yes, to all of us.
I guess just that final step towards that black nothing.
You can do that very easy. Just leave the curtains open. Am I wrong?
Don't know what you mean. What would leaving the curtain? Oh, I see what you're saying. The sun. That took me way too long. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what keeps me grounded here. Is maybe I'm afraid to take that last step.
You're afraid of the nothingness that you wield.
Of that nothingness, I am.
Afraid you'll be consumed and there'll be nothing left, and you'll just be Kage. Limbless, tongueless, eyeless, in a dark void. Something sad about that, but also poetic.
I do have good news. Well, depending on your perspective. If you were to perish, leave your vessel behind, that is. That doesn't have to be the end. I mean, if we perished here, it probably is, considering what it did to my assistant. But I have heard rumors of experiments that even our kind can exist after our vessel expires. So if you're afraid of the nothingness, if you want it enough, if you feel it enough, you might linger around.
But isn't that where you and your family come in? To puppeteer them like the Screamer?
Yes. That is when we come in.
And when did
We
you
do a
get-
lot of different things.
When did you get brought into the picture, Lucas? You always been a family member, orphan, a long lost cousin?
I was born into the family. It's my blood. It's my heritage. And you can't change that no matter how many blood transfusions you go through, no matter how many people you drink from. That just stays with you. My family is an intriguing lot, let's say. They appreciate an education. They appreciate if you're good at maths, finances especially. They like forward thinkers, but just not willful forward thinkers. They look for perfect proteges or just pawns to keep around. And if they think that you're ready, then you have a wonderful ceremony, actually. My death was, well, the moments leading up to my death was the best moments I've ever had in my whole existence.
So you were ready.
That's not what I said.
That was going to be my question. Did you think you were ready?
No. And I don't think, well, a difficult question. I was ready for power, for knowledge, for answers, for the truth. I was not ready for the indescribable agony that price would take from me. You see, when you're in the family, you are chosen, you are baptized in opulence. You are given everything that you ever wanted. You can drink as much as you want. You can fuck whoever you want. You can do anything. You can kill someone, put it on the dark web if that's your thing. That's not my thing, but you can do it. And the family will provide. But at the end, I won't go into details, but they take turns on you. And by the time that they're done, you wish for oblivion. You wish to take it all back. You wish that you were never born. You wish you never wanted the power or the truth or the knowledge or the immortality. You want to take it all back, but you can't because you were chosen. And then I was brought back, and then I realized how little I mattered. I was told to give letters to my aunties and my uncles and my great who gives a fuck. And it was like that for quite some time until I was a good little errand boy enough to leave the immediate proximity of my family and came out here. I wanted to be alone. I didn't want to be bothered. I wanted to research and get my power and find out the truths in peace. That was not in the cards, it seems.
For a moment there, you took your life back for yourself, it seems.
For a moment.
This is but a road bump, Lucas, on your
I
way
know.
to self-actualization.
I have no illusion that if I am to survive this, and that's a big if, I am going to do what I came here to do, which is probably not here anymore. I will find the truth. I will find these answers. I will have the power that I am owed. It is mine. By right of birth, by right of blood, it is mine. I've suffered enough for it.
Family can be a real son of a bitch. But it seems like the hardships that family has put you through has tempered the steel and resolve within you, Lucas. Family is complicated. Isn't that right, Knives? What, got nothing to say?
What do you want me to say?
We're all pouring our souls out here.
I think he was passing the what is it? A stick they pass around.
Baton.
The talking.
The baton.
The talking baton.
The talking stick. I was passing the talking stick to you.
yes.
Look, as I said, I heard rumors about everyone, and this is the one I heard about you. Might not be true. Might be true. Got a brother somewhere.
Like you're muted.
I can't hear you. You're so full of rage, I can't hear you.
Still muted? Can anyone hear?
Hello.
There we go. I can hear you.
Yeah.
I think you're just talking really quietly.
Could be true, and it might not be true either.
You're gonna be vague. This is possibly the last conversation we're gonna have, all of us, not just me and you, and you're gonna talk in vagaries.
I don't have family anymore, Matthew.
I'd like to say you have us, but I know that's a lie. You have some of us, and the ones you probably don't care about. And there's other ones that are probably outside of this group that you feel more kinship with.
We're like the brothers and sisters you got stuck with, not the ones you chose.
Knives gets up and she walks over to Matthew and hands him the wood carving. It is a wooden carving of Pinocchio, and she hands it to him.
What's this meant to me?
You'll figure it out.
I'm feeling that any time that he opens his mouth, the nose is going to get bigger.
See, I went the real boy kind of thing, but okay, that makes sense. I don't lie as nearly as often as you think I do. I mean, I lie. I lie a lot.
Lies of omission, not telling the whole truth.
That's everyone.
Yes, but I'm just saying that you can lie without lying.
Suppose that's true. So what? You're not going to share anything with the group, Knives?
I'm always sharing stuff with the group.
What do you want out of this? You've been given another chance. Do you want to beat up the fuckers that beat you up? Do you want to make them pay? What is it you want?
You have the power now to protect people that don't have the power to protect themselves.
Protect them from people like me.
That is exactly what I want, but I am powerless. I feel like I almost want to go for a nice stroll into the sunshine and just be done with it.
What stopped you from doing that? What is that thing that keeps you going?
That if everybody that is the same as me goes and do that, then who is going to protect everybody else?
You're right. Hold on to that. There are a lot of selfish predators out here. You're sharing a room with them. I might not agree with everything that you choose to do, or perhaps I'm just not familiar enough. But I do know that the world would benefit greatly with you still in it. Protect those that you think are worthy to be protected, and judge those you think are deserving of that judgment, so long as it's not me.
I couldn't really judge my babysitter now, could I?
Well, I'm glad it's been taken under advisement. Well, since this might be the last time that I see all of your ugly faces, I was quite bereft when you ran away the first time. Wait, first time? Second time?
You mean that
First
time
time.
we planned for me to run away?
Lost count.
Yes, that one. I did not know if we were going to see you again. And haven't known you that long, but there is a quality in you that makes it very easy to want to see what happens next. That might not be the proper way to articulate it. I'm glad you're still with us, but at the same time, I'm worried about you, even if you do survive. You have had the luxury to, afforded by Matthew, to turn away from the uglier truths of what we are and what we do. And I'm just worried that when the time comes to, when you are presented an impossible choice that will have consequences that ripple out into infinity, you will be crushed under them. We are monsters now, and we cling to our humanity. Try. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm concerned.
I feel like for Knives, there's still hope in that she wants to protect and do good by people, whereas the rest of us, it's almost too late. We've done too many bad things.
For me, it's not just this life. I think it's a cop-out to say that it's just this life. I was a piece of shit when I was human. I'm certainly a piece of shit now. Just now I'm a piece of shit with powers.
I guess the glory of this is I have A, you to learn from. B, I literally have nothing to lose. So if I get given a situation, I'm just gonna go for it. Whether you agree with it or not, whether it helps or hinders. But I would never do anything to put you in harm's way, Lucas. You've gone through enough. We've all been through enough. I mean, I've lived my happy little life, surrounded by grapes and wine. That there, Matthew, that you hold in your hand, that is a part of my heart. I gave you a piece of me. You
Thank you.
instantly thought it was about yourself.
Because everything's about me. As I laugh and just sort of laugh at the sort of like realization of like, yeah, you're right.
While we appreciate what you said, you should still look out for and live for yourself a little bit more, Knives.
You had questions, so many questions. What questions do you have now about your condition?
I'm more of a question in the moment when I think of it. I didn't really write a list in my notebook of, hey, I need to ask all of these things.
I
As
forget
much as I wish I
people.
did.
I forget people don't plan like I do. It's a great trait. I suggest you pick it up sometime.
This group of people is so wildly chaotic and everything is forever changing that something that I thought of a week ago is not relevant now.
But it could be funny to open the book and just see how far your progress has come.
Well, let's be honest, I've obviously learned way more being with you people than in the gutters of the city sewers. So
Mostly a whole lot of what not to do's.
You mainly learned you're the smartest one of us. But I do remember a question that you had, and if you don't mind me indulging, I can answer. You asked me a long time ago who my God was, or what God was to me.
Just keep in mind, we're in a house of the true God.
No, the house of the true God. That's the biggest load of baloney I have heard. See, I did a lot of bad things. I grifted people out of money. I stole retirement funds. Well, not steal. I manipulated people into giving up their retirement funds. Stole, but with kind words so that they didn't think it was being stolen. I got caught.
So the same as everybody else that does that.
Yeah, exactly. I got caught. They put the cuffs on me. And while I was in jail, there wasn't a lot to do. So I read the Bible. Being a nice little Catholic boy, I thought I might find answers there. I thought I might find salvation there. And I did. I found out the joke it truly is. The grifter, the greatest grifter in this whole reality, God himself, creating a joke, creating a myth around himself. And then he comes back. He comes back as Jesus Christ, the Son of God, just to do it all again. That is my God. The trickster, the person who pulls the wool over the common folks' eyes. And as people like Father Lucio pray and forgive, he just laughs because they're falling for it. The greatest con of all.
Is he also imaginary?
Does it matter?
Yes.
I don't think so. What matters?
Where is the evidence that it's a real being?
You don't need that. Faith.
I'm sure Father Lucio would agree.
Either way, my eyes were opened far before I turned into this. This just happened to be a happy coincidence. Or maybe a message from our divine Lord.
Did you want it?
Yeah, of course I did. I didn't know exactly what it was. I was on the run. See, when I got out of jail, I started following the word of God, doing it all over again, but this time as a reformed person, someone who's found faith. And I did. I wasn't lying, just not the faith that they found. And I swindled people into buying houses, made bankers richer, made myself richer. And then when the bubble started to burst, I got out of there. Traveling around outside of London, through England. That's where I met my sire. They said that they'd been watching me, seeing my progress, finding the revelations that I have found. And it was proof that God is indeed there, and God is smiling upon me as one of his great warriors.
You don't think you're one who's had the wool pulled over his eyes?
Oh, I don't doubt it. That's the point. We all have the wool pulled over our eyes at some point or another, but it's to lead us to a greater purpose. And that purpose is the entertainment for our crimson god, Sep. Praise be his name. Hallelujah. Yahweh. Sep.
So everybody from your clan believes that Set is the god?
I think so. I don't know. Maybe some do, some don't. All that matters is I
Because
do.
you all seem to define singular people as their clan, but not outside of that. So everybody just kind of belongs to a clan and they all have to abide by these same rules, or they have the same personality.
Maybe
Are all Setites crazy? Does everybody from the family have morbid fascination with the death, or do they learn to be that way because everybody around them is that way?
That's a great series of questions.
very philosophical one as well.
I think the Bruja would like you. Well, the old ones, at least.
Yeah. I think the best way to answer that is, I don't know. Maybe these people have already predispositions towards these things, and that's why they're chosen. Maybe not. Maybe it's something in the blood that changes them. Who really knows? What I know is what I believe right now, and that's truer than anything.
I believe that it's quite logical, scientific, really, psychological. You either have the personality traits, which brings you into the fold of a clan because they want you. They took you. You're mortal. Consent doesn't matter to them. They're immortal beings after all. And yes, that is terrible. And if you don't have the personality traits, but you have something that's useful, maybe they'll take you anyway, and they'll try and jerry-rig you, get inside of your mind, force you to be the way they want you to be. And if you resist too much, you can be disposed of and it can be tried again. They have literally all the time in the world. I have seen it happen to, I can't even count how many cousins have fallen down the well of oblivion at this point. Being a disappointment is usually a lethal offense. Maybe some clans are more forgiving, open-minded, but at the end of the night, we are primarily monsters governed by monstrous compulsions and drives and urges, some to dominate, some to relish in sadistic tendencies. I think it just boils down to psychology and whimsy, with perhaps a sprinkling of weird blood stuff. It's always blood. I've always wondered if I could engineer a scientific embrace. There's so many experiments that I want to do. I want to know if I can bring back someone through the method of embrace that has passed on, let's say, 7 days. They've been dead 7 days. If I can call them back from the other side, put them in that body, raise them back up again as an immortal creature, can the process be reversed? Can someone become human again if they wanted to for some reason? But I suppose that would be a masquerade breach and they would be killed off. But that's besides the point. I'm curious in the what ifs of our condition. What if we can get rid of the weaknesses, keep the benefits? That could change everything.
I would like to provide a world for you, Lukas, where you're free to do something like that.
You're very kind, thank you. Look, if you keep finding prime Kobe beef for me, I will not be complaining.
Now, of course, there'll be plenty of that.
Oh, I just remembered. Since we're all just kind of pouring our souls out, as we say, where did you head off to?
I had to think. I asked my Kira. I asked Kira, my friend, to do something for me, and I hadn't heard back. So I went to go check my phone. That's when I noticed it was gone. And I don't know if what's happened to her, but it's fine.
Was she the one whose house
Yeah.
we were in?
Yeah.
Do you know where she might be? Do you want to search for her?
It's fine.
Well, we have the rest of the night and we're not planning on doing Peruke. And if we want to search for your friend, I'll help you.
It's fine. She's in God's hands now.
Do you actually care about her?
Do you want the honest answer or do you want a platitude?
I think I know the honest answer.
A small part of me probably does. A small part of me feels bad for what I've done to her. A small part of me feels guilt for wrapping her in my wild fascinations and having her believe that when I know deep down inside that our goals don't align and I can't offer her what she wants. But then there's another part of me. Another part of me, the larger part of me, sees her for what she is. A tool to help me. You wanted the honest answer, Knives? That's the honest answer.
It's a pretty common answer as well.
Has the tool lost its use?
No. I'm just putting out faith that everything will be okay.
I need to think for a moment. Excuse me, I'm using the restroom.
Oh, right. What should our next course of action be?
Well,
Should
There's
we
very-
should we acquire some blood for Seraphine?
yeah, I could use some too. I think there might be something worthwhile. But Knives, why don't you do you want to go get blood for your friend? You two have gotten well together a lot this night. Seem to have a real rapport.
Was that a dig? I'm really quite unsure.
It
The
wasn't a
tone in your
dig.
voice
It
suggests.
wasn't the dig. It was just like I think everything's about me. Don't think everything out of my mouth is a dig.
Well, I have 3 blood bags.
Oh, there you go.
She drank them. Why?
Oh yeah, didn't she throw up some blood before? Was that? I can't remember what the context around that was.
That was directly after she cast the spell. As a result, it ejected itself from her body.
Maybe we need to find out what her flavor is and try to
Well,
get it for her.
she has drunk my bag before, so we could just ask Father Lucio.
Yeah. I think it'll be fine. I think it will be fine.
Okay, well,
I mean, if you're asking me to go hunting, I don't do that shit anymore.
Anymore? Was there a time when knives wasn't blood bags?
Of course not. There was a time when knives had to hunt people.
So yeah, a time when knives wasn't blood bags. Yeah.
I was human.
he's meaning a time where
Anyway.
Knives wasn't drinking from blood bags.
I think she knows what I mean. But, yeah.
I think I might go and collect some sticks to make some steaks, unless we have some. No, I'm going outside.
If I remember correctly, we've got a fancy ice pike.
Yeah, but that's being saved for the big cheese, right?
Oh, you mean
Yes.
my,
Are you sure
my
it-
salt? Right.
Can I check to see if it isn't melted?
That's the interesting thing, Knives, is you are extremely cold as a kindred, but even still, room temperature and such should melt this icicle. It has not melted in the slightest. It's barely changed at all. I would say it hasn't changed at all on closer inspection. It's just as sharp and keen as ever.
Do we know she got that ice? Did she tell us?
I don't believe Knives has.
No, I told Lucas only.
So Matthew and I don't know anything about the ice yet. Then
Mhm. Speaking of, important question: does Kage take any opportunity to meditate during, after, or before these conversations?
question. I was probably too busy keeping an eye out for, danger while Matthew's away, so I probably wouldn't have done it then. And I've been in conversation now, so I guess I haven't had an opportunity yet.
Okay.
I think with Knives making the suggestion that she's going to go get some sticks to whittle down into steaks, I'm going to look over at Kage and I'm going to say, well, you asked what our plan was. Our plan is nothing right now. So if you want to go into a quiet place, feel free to.
Shared it. Then I might go eat as well. Should rest up for tomorrow then.
I think I should probably try and find some food to collect in case I need it during what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think I should eat as well because I don't want to start bleeding all over the place when shit goes south.
Well, if you accidentally kill him, dibs.
Well, that was going to be my plan. I was gonna find someone, and we can talk about it on the way.
Right.
On that note, maybe Lucas should have been with you for your last meal.
Oh,
Just no, don't mind me.
All right.
Right. Late lunch for everyone then.
Yes, I think we'll get a general hunting roll from everybody, please. And Kage, I will get you to make a Wits Oblivion check after that result too. And Mr. Deacon, I will get Composure Resolve from you as well, please.
What's a hunting roll?
Hunting roll is what you do as
right.
part of your hunting type. So I believe you're a bagger.
Well, I don't really need to do that though, do I?
Well, you already have bags, so no, you can just feed on those if you require.
I got 4. And what was
Mm.
the second roll you wanted from me? Sorry.
Wits Oblivion.
Brilliant.
At least there's another blood bank close by. Or is it only the hospital?
Only the hospital, so it's going to be quite difficult for you to get any
Yeah, no.
more. But it's possible. You might as well make the roll just in case.
My hunting roll with 2 with a bestial failure.
2 is still a success, so it's not a bestial failure. It means you'll only get 1 point of hunger taken away. For every 2 successes, you get 1 point taken away. So with 4, you get 2 points taken away. If you want
What
a
was the other
willpower,
roll?
sorry.
I've already willpowered.
Oh, no worries. The other roll was Composure Resolve.
My wits oblivion. I got 2 willpowered, and now have 3.
Okay. Scratch that, Mr. Deacon. I might actually get a humanity roll instead. So roll how many boxes of humanity you have. It's more appropriate to this roll.
2.
4 successes, you'll be able to get another bag. There's not much left, but you managed to find a secret stash that you put away for Alexa, just in case. And I think now's a good time, just in case, that you hang on to it. So you can add another bag. And Kage, how many successes?
So I had 4 on my hunting and
Mhm.
3 on the wits oblivion.
Yep, so for every 2 successes on your hunting roll, you get 1 point of hunger slaked.
Okay.
And sorry, how many successes on the Wits Oblivion?
3.
3. You managed to find a moment by yourself to relax and sit and breathe in the cool air and the snow and the breeze around you, the peace of the place. And it's in this moment that there's a flicker in the back of your mind, almost like something whisks its way behind you, and opening your eyes and looking around, you are still alone here. And that's when you feel it, the crumpled, strange feeling of paper that you suddenly realize you are sitting on top of. Pulling it up, you find a letter that is sealed with a wax seal of the symbol of your clan, Clan La Sombra, the crown, and sort of this purple royal wax seal. It's slightly heavy, like there's something inside of it, but it's still very thin.
I'll check that I'm still alone, and I'll have a look at it.
Yeah, opening it up, careful not to break the seal. You take it, there is just a single note, and when you empty the rest of the packet out, there is a ring identical to the one that you have collected earlier. But it is almost like the symbol has been flipped onto the opposite side. It's like almost upside down in a certain way. All the letter says, and it's written in blood to be very clear, is, "I think you will need this."
All right. I'm gonna wait. I'll try this out later somewhere else.
No problem. So you now have 2 of these rings. One of them flipped. With 1 success, Mr. Deacon.
Question. Can
Yes.
I willpower? I'm assuming I can't willpower.
Not with the check, I'm afraid. So in this case, you will suffer a demonic compulsion. So with transgression, it's going to be pushed even further. So usually you have to make someone go against a canonical tenet or personal conviction. In this case, you will need to be involved yourself as well. The 2 of you will have to together break a canonical tenet or personal conviction and accrue stains equal to your bane severity for both people in total. So if one of you gets 1 and the other one gets 2, as long as together it makes up to your bane severity. As these sort of whispers and strange voices start to infest your mind a little bit, something touched you very recently, and you got very close to something that's left its mark on perhaps your soul itself, and this is how you're going to purge it out of your body. like committing something heinous.
Are we hunting together by chance? Because it sounded like we were.
If you'd like to.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
And with Kage.
No, I think I went off. I hunted and I was by myself meditating.
Oh, right.
Kage works alone.
So I'll probably go back to the church now that I'm done to hang out with old mate. Good.
Is there any scene that Mr. Deacon and Lucas would like to have because of this compulsion?
Sounds like there might be.
Yeah, take it away.
I'll just get comfortable.
That didn't satiate me at all.
What?
That didn't satiate me at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you want to try and find someone else?
No. I feel like if I did, I'd probably rip him apart.
Knives isn't here.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm not going to pass up the opportunity to harvest more stuff.
You know what? When in Hallstatt.
You're cleaning it up though.
Well, no, if you're going to be eating it up, you're going to be the one to clean it up.
You're eating.
Yo, so are you.
We'll do it together.
Okay.
Can I insight Lucas really quick to see what his convictions are?
Absolutely. Lucas, you may counter roll if you desire with a composure and resolve, or composure etiquette if you like. And the wit's insight with your specialty, Mr. Deacon.
Mm-hmm. Come on, give me a good roll. You've been terrible so far. You know what? I'm going to be feeding soon. I'm going to be killing someone soon.
Would I be able to use Unswayable Mind for
absolutely.
this?
Yep. Unswayable Mind is for anything that tries to read you or change your mind about something.
It just pretty much makes the difficulty harder.
It adds more dice to Lucas's dice pool to resist it. Ooh. Oh, both of you.
What did Lucas get?
6 successes for
6.
Lucas. Yourself?
7. Critical.
7 with a critical success. And I imagine you're not going to want to burn willpower against each other because that seems a bit backwards.
I don't have enough. I don't think I have reason to.
Yeah, understandable. Very well. So, Lucas, you can pick one of your convictions. I believe you were after convictions, Mr. Deacon, to reveal.
So many to choose from. Let's do none may control me.
Okay. All right. We'll see what I can work with that.
Okay. Let's give you some time to think. We'll take a short break now, I think, before we cut back to Kage versus Getorix for a bit. So stick with us. We're going to take a 5 to 10 minute break, and we're going to be right back for more Hallstatt by Night. See you real soon.
How hungry are you?
I'm a little famished.
Okay, so you're not on the verge?
No, I got other things on my mind.
Care to open up?
I don't think you'd understand. You're not of the faith. You're not of the... I mean, considering the welcoming I got when I revealed my faith, I don't think you'd appreciate it.
I poke bodies for a living.
There's this thing. It's as you make your way further towards God, Set, let's just call him what he is, you have to go through a series of gates. These are trials, tribulations that you face. Now, I don't exactly know how many of these gates there are. I've passed quite a few myself. And I've come to realize this adventure, this little night, these nights, I'm passing through another one. Ignorance. It was true what you said to me and what Knives has said to me about letting go, allowing things to happen. And that's what it was. I was ignorant. I was ignorant of knowing everything or thinking I knew everything. And now that I've accepted that, I find myself at the precipice of another gate. And I look at each and every one of you and I wonder how many gates I can open for you.
So you're outdoor man.
Yeah. That's what I hope.
Well, you're right. I don't have any unique insight on gates, but I think we all go through existence opening our own gates, regardless of faith or what have you. I think that experience is the key and the gate. And the will is the energy that can turn the key in that lock, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. I think you calling me the doorman is very apropos.
I'll collect royalties.
No, I will make sure to get on the line with my copyright lawyer straight away.
And they call us parasites.
Yeah. Yeah. But you notice, I mean, you've got a lot of insight in this, you know, the judge, chaos, liberator, I like to call myself. When I mentioned about tearing me apart, she didn't say no. Think I got to watch my back?
No. Well, yes. But that's just a good rule of thumb to have always. I don't think that she's going to be delivering unto you some kind of judgmental fury that'll leave you hurtling onto one of my metal slabs.
I would dare say, if I invoked such judgmental fury, there wouldn't be much left of me to put on a metal slab.
And why would you invoke such fury?
I wouldn't. Just being me. That's all it takes, right? Just being me.
You're not wrong.
I can't help it. It's who I was when I was immortal, and it's who I am now. It's who I was always destined to be.
If you have a gift, use it, because you can't return it.
I know what I want to.
Just leave me be. I like to stay in my lane.
I meant that when I said in the basement that I really, really wish I could provide you with a place where you can experiment for free. And maybe maybe I can. Or maybe I already have.
How do you mean?
God works in mysterious ways. You can't rush these things. Things will become clear. The veils will be lifted off all of our eyes. Think of it as a gift. A gift you didn't ask for, but a gift everyone here needed desperately.
Socks?
Probably a little better than socks. As I said, good things take time, Lucas. Speaking of, I'm assuming we hear a garbage man or something like that.
Absolutely. Your preference?
Sure. Doesn't matter too much at this stage.
No.
I will do the old or
Mm.
and lure this person into a bush nearby. And so I believe if I drain him,
Mm.
Lucas can't eat.
That's right.
Okay. So I will take 2 off him if
Mhm.
possible.
Absolutely.
And then once the ecstasy of the kiss has ended and the blood is dripping down my chin, I just look over at Lucas and I just say, finish him.
You're not gonna do the honors?
How about we both do it?
What do you suggest? Because if I do what you just did, very loud, unless you muffle them.
Tell me, Lucas, you know the human body. Is it very loud if they don't have a tongue?
Well, actually, they can just they don't need to say words, they can just make a noise.
Yeah. Damn, I was really hoping we could do something poetic here. No, because Kage
Science
gave me
isn't poetic.
a little idea, you know? No arms, no legs, no tongue, no eyes.
It's a bit excessive.
You're calling me excessive. You cut somebody's face off.
Heat of the moment.
By the way, if this guy is coming back too, I'm just gonna Eyes of the Serpent and just like hold him in place.
Oh, he's very much out of it, and your awe and Eyes of the Serpent combined together. He's not going anywhere in this sort of euphoric state, lying in the snow.
I do have an idea.
What's
It's
your
something.
idea?
It's actually an experiment. You can help me with it right now. Actually, we do have sufficient cover, yes. And then I'm looking around.
Oh yes, the cover of night, the cover of snow. Absolutely.
That I would like to run a test of your abilities.
Test of my abilities?
I suppose, in by extension, it's also a test on how potent your god is.
Okay.
The little snake eye trick that you have. Just keep looking at him and let me do the rest.
All right.
If he flinches, we're cleaning up.
Yeah, I got it.
Lucas procures a scalpel
Mm-hmm.
because he never leaves home without one. And he leans down on the prone man who is, I'm assuming, paralyzed by the eyes. And with cold analysis, they will begin to vivisect is when they're alive, right?
I believe that's the correct word, yes.
Yes, they are basically vivisecting him and looking to see the reaction. If it snaps him out, if what he's testing Matthew's power, while at the same time efficiently like getting access to his organs.
So, I believe there's a roll involved if something breaks this gaze. I'm struggling to remember what it is. They are.
Give me 1 second.
It's similar to like resisting if they're a kindred, or it's like they're an aware mortal. When something interrupts something like this in this fashion, I think the first.
Charisma plus presence versus wits and composure.
Okay, wits composure for them. I think Lucas's first discovery of this would be that it depends on the willpower of the subject themselves. And as you're poking and prodding and figuring out how this works, there is a push and tug between the two of them. Like their minds get wrapped in each other like two snakes battling each other. The superior mind keeps the other one at bay.
3.
3, yes. This is just a regular mortal. Their dice pool is very low for this sort of thing. And his eyes are completely enraptured in yours, Mr. Deacon. No matter what you do, Lucas, to this man, he might grunt, he might almost go to scream, I imagine, which is clamped down, but he can't move. He has to lie there and take it.
Subject does appear to be able to feel everything going on, but is currently powerless to do anything about it, though it does appear that it is a case-by-case basis depending on the mental fortitude of the subject. And he's just kind of verbalizing his findings. And then once he is satisfied that he has harvested as much information as they can from this situation, they will slit his neck, or some kind of like a swift punctuation dot on his mortality.
Mm-hmm. In this process, the two of you conducting such a sick and twisted ritual upon an innocent person, both of you are going to acquire 2 stains.
So I have a question.
Yes.
I had already had a stain that I've forgotten to roll for.
We'll roll for that separately, because technically you should only have had the one. If you want to roll remorse now,
I'll roll it now.
Yeah, why not?
So it's like the difference, right? Just
Any
the difference between...
any empty boxes you have left of humanity is how many dice you roll. You have to roll a minimum of 1.
Okay, succeeded that one, so I felt guilty for whatever that was.
Mm-hmm. And then you acquire 2 more, which we'll roll at the end of this session. And I imagine in the process, Lucas, you are going to bag as many of these organs as you can. I'll say heart, some other bloody organ, and another one. So 3 of these organs that you can use worth a blood point each that are quite useful.
I do have a question. Because of the nature of how they died,
yes.
Do I get, and because I do collect their heart, do I get a particularly strong resonance from them?
Yes, absolutely. My first instinct is melancholy, but let me remind myself of all the humors and everything. Yes, definitely melancholy. Scared is definitely the strong resonance in this blood. In fact, well, you haven't tasted it yet, but you can. You have Bloodhound, right? Yeah, you can. Yeah, with Bloodhound, you could smell the strong melancholy blood in the heart. Without it, it's probably like smelling salt and pepper on a steak. You know it's seasoned, but you know it could be any kind of seasoning. It could be, you know, blatant whatever. Sorry, you're muted.
I don't have it, but I'm probably still excited for it.
You can tell that it's flavored in a particular way. You're just not sure how.
Was the experiment satisfactory, Doctor?
It was, but he flinched.
Didn't scream though.
Flinched though.
Don't know exactly what you wanted.
For you to clean up.
I believe it was both of us that were going to do this.
But you did agree that if they flinched.
I hate you right now. And I'll clean up as best as I can. Do I need to do a roll for that or anything?
I don't think so. I think you're pretty good with all that. Is that all between the two of you in this particular scene?
I'd say so, at least for me.
We mentioned nothing of this to the others.
He just shrugs.
And with some time, everybody regroups back at the church, where Seraphina is still, she's probably rolled herself over onto her side, her back facing towards everybody at this point, still shivering violently underneath the blanket. Vercingetorix is conversing with Kage, the two of them. I imagine talking battle plans still. He's still trying to understand the full concept of defend. He gets very well, but defend is a bit of a struggle for him. And luckily, the two of you are working this out together. Knives. Go ahead.
Yeah, pretty much just like working out. You defend, you stop, I attack, and things like that. So
you actually come back to see them, like he's holding his shield in a particular way, and you're figuring out how you can slice underneath him and such. The two of them working quite well together. Knives, you can hear this the scraping of the knife. Probably a different knife, actually, since the bone knife would go straight through this stick. And sharpen, you can hear it again, of the sharpening of these sticks. Quite large ones.
Also try and feed Seraphina some of the blood bag to see if she can take any, or is she responsive?
She seems to drink it down. You're not sure if it's going to stay down. Especially certain kindred have, when they have certain liquids and stuff in their body, if it doesn't agree with them, after an hour, it's going to come back up at the latest.
I have watched her drink one before. So
you have,
I
indeed.
just assumed it was fine.
Yeah. So far, it seems like she's drinking it down, but it doesn't bring her out of this stupor, this almost like mock torpor in a way.
When I come back, though, I would have said, "Hello, Kage," and then bowed to what's his name?
Vercingetorix.
Vercingetorix.
Yes, he gives you a good nod and a big like slap on the back and big hearty smile.
The thumbs up.
The
learning's good?
Good. This is the only response you get from him.
Good job, Kage.
This is good.
What are you planning on teaching him? Just fighting, defense, anything, everything?
Do you have any suggestions for what might be useful? I'm just trying to get a good grounding for some basics, so that for most situations we can try and have a plan of attack. I don't know. Just trying to get some basics down.
Garrison, what do you feel like doing?
He looks you up and down, sort of frowns slightly, looks at Kage, looks back at you, and then gestures out with his very large hand, which looks like it could probably hold your entire arm in it. It's that large. He holds his hand out for yours.
I will put my hand into his.
All of a sudden, Knives, you get this flood of information all the way through you. He is melding your senses together, and you're feeling what he's feeling what you're feeling, all at once, as his middle eye begins to bleed down his forehead. And after a few moments of, you see these strange things. You see battle after battle after battle in these big open plains between all these people in pits of fire, and all these rituals, and these 7 people who surrounded him and encased him in this ice by his own decision. And after a moment, you both come back to the moment, and he simply says, "Ravenna." Nods very slowly.
Ravenna? I don't get it.
It's my name, Kage.
All right. That's right. What just happened? His eye. Your eye, Vercingetorix.
He starts to wipe it away with the bandana that you've given him.
Well, I mostly was just testing to see how much he would understand of what I said. And he showed me all of the battles that he's been in.
Right.
And there was 7 people with him when he chose to encase himself. But I'm not really sure why.
Yeah, I was about to say we've barely tapped into who he is. So I guess that's a good start. But yeah, there's lots more to understand, I suppose.
Holy shit. She just looks at him.
He reaches into his back pocket at this point, in one of his small satchels. Well, he probably is going to give you more stuff, if you'd let me finish. And as he does so, he actually pulls out this like dust. It's not dust, it's ash that he pulls out of his pocket, and he sort of tries his best to hold it into his hands and holds it out towards you, Knives.
I take a little bit into my hand
and
I sniff it.
As you do so, he sniffs the ash as well, and both of you sort of enter this strange trance for like, it feels like a very long time. It feels like maybe a few hours pass. Kage, you see the 2 of them with this dust covering their hands as Vercingetorix says these prayers in this other language you don't understand. And then after a few minutes, the 2 of them sort of breathe in subconsciously and look at each other. Knives, for the rest of the night, you are able to use a single use of the Fists of Cain. Which is a level 5 potence ability, which makes your fists do aggravated damage instead of superficial. You can feel the strength just surge through you as a taste of Vercingetorix's power, or whoever that dust was of, flows into you. And you feel it. You feel like you could just pull flesh and rend and tear things apart easily.
Holy shit. Kage, you try it. And I hand it myself.
And I'll look at Vercingetorix like for permission, be like, is this okay?
Good.
Good. Okay, I'll sniff it as
Yeah,
well.
you experience the exact same thing. It is flashes of white, of red, of rage, of fury, this spinning flame, blades, sand, dust, a big battle between humans. Whatever this dust is, it's very rare. And you also, for this night, can use a single use. Now, to be very clear, this is a single round use of the Fists of Cain.
Yeah. Now, you say this night. Do you mean like the next hour of this night?
So it's only still about 2 a.m. You've still got a couple
right.
of hours to do some things, but you can use the Fists of Cain for the rest of the night for one single round. It's a burst of strength, but your body
Yeah.
can only handle a single round.
Interesting.
He puts the dust, whatever's left of it, back into the pouch, clips it back. Well, ties it back, I should say, with a small rope.
Thank you very
This is
much.
insane.
He claps you on the back, Knives, and says, "Good?
Good.
Good."
What a good time. This is crazy.
I suddenly feel like we need to get something done. We've still got some time left. What?
I know, right?
It
Sure you go.
is, at this time, Mr. Deacon
what-
and Lukas return back to the church.
You two. How was lunch?
Hello.
What happened?
Nothing.
You're
We're
doing
just
that
hanging out.
smiling thing.
I always smile. It's my only good quality.
No, you've got several other qualities that are good. It's just you don't smile very often when he's in the room.
It's all right. Your buddy in, and I tap him on the shoulder.
Something's not right.
I was going to say there is a renewed sense of confidence that surges. You feel like I can just rip these people apart. I'm above all these people. I have the strength. So yeah, please role play into that.
Have you two thought about what our next moves should be? We've still got time. We could do something.
Well, I'm torn between drafting up plans and just taking Vercingetorix and going to try. To destroy the evil in that manner.
That
And the whole manor.
thing.
Well, it's just a building, but I would like to hone in on Dr. Evil.
Well,
Dr. Eli, I thought you meant
Oh,
the
same.
Zemesis.
No, she's next.
Oh, okay. I was
'Cause
confused by that too.
Because we think she could have Adelaide, yes?
It's possible.
She's probably got everybody in this whole town, and she's kind of like winning this war currently.
No.
I would really love to give Dr. Eli a good old hug and ask him. I
If he
feel like
killed-
he's only going to talk to me though, because when he said that stuff that we're going to fight each other, he was like a ghostly form behind me, and he appeared there. And then when he was in solid form up on the thing, he pretended he didn't know who I was. And I don't know if that's just him messing with my head, or if he was actually like a past him or a future. Like, anything is possible.
I mean, he may have astral projected.
Is that a thing?
I know that my Nona can. She's creepy like that.
Matthew leans closer to Knives, scrutinizing her behavior right now.
I lick his cheek.
Are you high right now?
Matthew, did you leave your shit behind?
I don't have any shit to be left behind.
We are trying to exorcise Satan. And we're huffing or swallowing or injecting shit.
I don't see why there isn't a better time to go and do this than right now.
I agree.
But what are we going to ask him? Like, are we going to ask him?
No
like-
asking.
No asking?
No.
That time's
Alright.
passed. He'll just twist and slither his way out.
So time to get the cane, the last piece of our puzzle, right?
Yeah, and if we can kill
So-
him, we should do that.
Knives, you mentioned that, you and him have this kind of rapport. How about you Get his
Well, he
attention.
has a rapport with the Banu Hakim,
Yeah.
is the way I read it.
Yeah. Either way,
Now that I remember that.
you
You
get
want
his
me
attention.
to go in and be the bait? Okay.
No,
No, be the bait. Just get it. We'll all go in together as one big happy family.
I was about to
But
say,
you get his
run
attention.
off.
Because I
Matthew-
know you're normally the one who goes and grabs the things. I think myself or Kage should be the one to try to hide and move. I can go invisible if I stand still. If I can kind of slowly make my way around, I can try to swipe it.
I feel very uncomfortable with even the slight splitting up.
Can
There was no splitting up. He'll have the cane with him.
I also have this icicle and then I pull it out. What do you think this does?
It's razor sharp, completely smooth icicle is just drawn out extremely quickly.
now this is new to me, but Matthew's obviously seen this before, hasn't he?
I've seen it.
No, who? I thought she like presented the icicle to Matthew right at the start.
Oh right, yeah. The Malkavian. Yeah.
Huh?
What, did you steal that from the Malkavian?
No, she gave it to me.
What is it?
It's ice. Don't touch it. See if you can feel anything from it. Listen to it, maybe.
I'll just.
I already
Tap
looked
it.
at it.
You
With
give it a
the
tap. It's just ice.
Okay. Nice ice.
Okay. I'll put it back in there.
Like I made sure to make a point of like seeing if there was anything special, with my senses. It is literally just ice.
Well,
I
ice
mean,
worked on him, and
Wow.
she puts to Gorstrix. I said it wrong again, didn't I? Yeah.
I knew who you were talking about. It's okay. He sort of like notices the ice as well, just nods, gives you a smile, says, "Good."
All right. Here's a crazy idea. How about all of us just go and we'll see what happens? What's the worst that's gonna happen?
We all
So
die.
I am going to knock on the door and be like, "Hey, friend, I come for. Can you help me? I just,
I kind of want to see
really
how that goes.
I really need to know about the history that we have." And then sit down and have a chat, and then I'll turn around so he faces me, and then he'll know we're there. But it'll be funny.
I'm very uncomfortable. Let's go.
Let's
Okay.
go.
And into the vehicle.
Knives flounces outside.
I look at Knives as Knives goes, "Are you okay to drive?"
And then she turns around with a steak in her
Oh,
hand,
whoa,
and
whoa,
you're
whoa.
like real close.
Whoa.
And then she hands it to him.
Thank
And then
you.
she gives one to Lucas and then one to Matthew. I mean,
Love you.
Kage, sorry.
All of you can add stakes to your inventories. A
And
stake
I will
does.
make sure I have two.
For those wanting to use them, a stake does +0 damage, but you can make a cold shot to stake a vampire, and if you beat them by 5 successes, or you deal 5 damage to them, I believe, you stake them instantly. Cold shot is a -2 dice, by the way. You all pile in, minus Seraphina, who is still quite tired.
Maybe
I leave my goal with
Okay,
just to watch over.
no problem.
in that case, I'll bring Vercingetorix.
He ducks down into the van and sort of big shoulders up against the roof, but gives you all a big smile and a hearty laugh. And you drive down through Hallstatt, down to Obertraum, which is about a 7-minute drive, 5 minutes. Not even. There's no one else around, so it'll be about 5 minutes. Up to, you see it as soon as you enter Obertraum. You see the big sort of almost Gothic, but not quite, verging on it manor that overlooks all of Obertraum, with its one single window lit up golden light as usual, almost like the house is winking at you in some strange manner. Lukas, go ahead.
Can I please do Where the Shroud Thins?
Please do the regular roll for Where the Shroud Thins. Absolutely. on the way towards it, it is large, imposing, menacing. Kage, you're reminded of the things that you found in there: the diary, this symbol under the bed, the hole in the wall, the strange menagerie of animals that shouldn't be here at all. And Knives, you're reminded, but perhaps this time in a different way, in a less imposing way, as this power surges through your veins, of the conversation you had, almost privately, claimed that you were a child of Hakim. Somehow he knew. And Mr. Deacon, the conversation you had where he offered you blood that you did not have with him, and the way he turned his back, seemed to pick something out of the blood and flick it away, whatever that might have been, in this large manner. Lukas, I believe this is your first time coming to this place. With 4 successes, you can see where the tears are. There's a lot more of them in Overtron, but none of them are fresh. All of them have been ones that you've seen before or dealt with before.
What about around the manor?
Around the manor? No. None.
I would like to turn on my sense the unseen then.
Certainly. Make a wits and auspex roll, please.
Any difficulty?
I will not say. Anyone else want to activate any disciplines for this scene that they're about to enter?
Fleetness
Certainly. Make a rouse check.
and cat's grace. Even though I think fleetness is just the upgraded cat's grace. Whatever.
Well, fleetness. Technically, fleetness is the upgraded cat's grace. It gives you some extra benefits, but cat's grace is always active. 4 successes. As you're sort of looking around, observing things, you do notice a single figure alone in the snow, making their way down across. You distinctly recognize it as the large, twisted form of Alexa, sort of wandering her way through, perhaps looking for something to eat. But that's as you go along through. Once you approach the manor, you can notice that there are subtle blood sorceries around the manor. You can see the rituals cast. Whatever they do, you're not quite sure. If you point them out to Knives, you can make a intelligence and blood sorcery roll to figure out what they do.
I definitely point them out. I point out the kind of shape that it looks like. I point out exactly where they are.
I don't know if I'm going to be any good at this, and I'm just learning. 3.
3, yes. You instinctually can feel the cage that they are, the containment that these things are supposed to do. They're meant to contain something and keep it inside of the house. Not quite sure what, though.
Yeah, the containers, I think, from the energy vibe, I guess I'm getting from this, like that it's keeping something in the house. Should we try and get him out?
Bust
I
this
have a
cage open.
feeling that he wants to cage the thing that is currently running rampant.
You
Or
think
is he
he?
locked in?
Surely he's not that stupid.
No, he's not,
Oh,
because
he's
he's just
just-
in the hospital.
Crazy.
Because I don't know if I mentioned before, he's got a whole collection of animals of strange sorts up there.
Like live or dead?
Were they alive or dead?
They were all alive.
Yeah.
None of them were dead. They were well
Probably
fed and alive.
Probably sacrifices.
Possibly. Also, I'll activate rapid reflexes, silence of death, and shadow cloak.
No worries.
Was
They're
it like-
all free.
Yeah, exactly.
A
I'll activate all my
bunch.
free passives.
What, Kage, was there a bunch of snakes?
Maybe.
There was
Yes.
a single white cobra.
I feel like there was a white snake. Maybe there was a lot at once. Possibly a white snake. I couldn't say what kind.
Do they produce poison?
I mean, it's technically called venom.
If you want me to go steal the snake, I can.
Well, what I'm getting at is, remember how those pills were like snake poison, or venom, or
Mm,
whatever it is.
Interesting.
You park the car in the usual spot, and this oppressive feeling in the air weighs upon all of you as you get close to this manor. And you feel it, like something is watching you at all times, or perhaps like someone has their hands pressed on your shoulders and is massaging them constantly. Sometimes you'll look back and there's nothing there, but there is an oppressive aura to this place.
I do look back at Vercingetorix specifically.
Vercingetorix is he's sitting with his back facing towards all of you, and he's watching at the back of the van, almost like he's meditating in a very similar way that Kage does, actually.
Did you teach him that?
No, looks like he's a natural.
It's cute.
Anything you would like to say or do before you enter this place?
Should I go first? Or are we all going together?
I think it would be best if we all go together, to be honest.
You'll go together.
Let's show him who he's messing with and demand some goddamn answers.
Maybe don't say goddamn, not in this house.
In case it goes on fire?
It was a joke.
It looks like this house is
So was
condemned.
mine.
I'm not good at jokes, Knives.
The four of you step out and move. Vercingetorix does not move, actually. He remains seated and he remains concentrated on his meditation.
I'll go back to him and in fact, I'll just leave him there. I'll be like, okay, that's fine.
Should we wait until he's done? I feel like he's our ace in the hole.
He might be preparing.
Well, let's hope that he prepares faster.
To be fair, this is our fight more than it is his.
You have seen Kage, you especially can really understand him because you've connected to his mind a lot more than the others and have taken the time. You have recognized that his obsession of fighting and protecting has always been the demonic figure and nothing else. But when he's been with you, he's gone for it, but always for that specific purpose. Like he's honor bound or duty bound for it.
So I don't know if this fight is his, but if we need him, I'm sure he'll be there.
Right. Let us hope so.
And I just start walking towards the door.
When you begin to make your way up the steps slowly, the door creaks open like it did just last time, slowly as if something was there to open it, but nothing is there, of course. The golden light of the inside of the candle-lit area you saw before bathes you in this light, in this moment.
And we follow her, I assume.
Mm-hmm. In we go.
I yell out, "Honey, I'm home!"
Your voice echoes through the dust, the books of this place. It is a 2-story section with this big, large grand staircase that leads up to landing where there's a door on the left and a door on the right. But the entire wall, the back is books, entirely covered in books. In fact, on both floors, there are those ladders with wheels at the very bottom that can scroll from side to side. And there's a fireplace off to the right where Miss Deacon, you and him sat and talked briefly. There are a few chairs there, including one that is flat, longer for someone to lie down on and to rest their head, perhaps for some kind of therapy. And there is again that small collection nearby the candles and the fireplace that has all these bottles that are dusted, covered in things nearby, with a bunch of old goblets there. You're left alone for a brief moment until the door upstairs swings open and Dr. Eli steps forward, closing the door behind him, dusting off his hands, Ah, welcome, my esteemed guests.
Well, if it isn't my favorite cosplayer.
You will have to enlighten me, sir. I'm not familiar with such a
I think it's
modern word.
a Kage. You probably know a bit more about it than me, but it's a phenomenon where you dress up as your favorite fictional character. Isn't that right, Dr. F?
I believe we're all familiar with such a concept these nights, aren't we, Mr. Deacon? Come, sit. I'll pour you some blood. As he takes his way down the stairs, his cane in his left hand.
We are
I
not
don't need any-
thirsty.
So, what was that, Knives?
Oh, I was just saying what Lucas was saying.
Okay. Says, well, as soon as he hits the last step just before it, he says, well, would you mind if I indulge myself then?
Sure.
Thank you. Please, have a seat by the fire. He makes his way over.
What
Pops.
does the F stand for? Oh, sorry.
That's fine. He pops open one of these old bottles, pours it into the goblet, and again, he starts picking out these things, flicking them to the side. He sighs, flicks them away, raises it up, looks at it, and comes over. And if you allow him, he'll take a seat in the grander chair just opposite all of you. If you sit, that is. None of you sit?
Nah,
Okay.
I'm not gonna go sit by the fire.
No worries. He sits himself by the fire. You can see sort of his side profile from here, from where you're standing. And then
I'll
Knives,
sit on the floor.
Yeah. You ask him.
And then I say, what does the F mean?
It stands for Faust.
Do it.
Cosplayer.
Okay. I was wondering if you could please enlighten me from our last meeting when you stood behind me.
Yes, I had thought you would be a bit more enlightened, child, but it's clear that Hakim hasn't taught his children very well, which is both good and bad, I suppose. What is it you wish to know?
Well, why did you pretend you said nothing to me when I asked you about it the first time, but you're willing to admit it happened now?
Circumstances have changed.
What circumstances are those?
Well, I think you know. You're a bit more aware of what's happening. And I think our interests do align in this time.
Okay. So why would you want to kill me?
Oh, I don't, child. I thought you were here to kill me. But it's clear you don't know what is going on at all. So we have no quarrel with each other.
Care to enlighten us as to what is going on?
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Quick
Well,
question.
that's-
Where's the poodle cane?
He has it. It's leant
This
up
way.
against his chair right on his left. So he's like sitting facing towards the fire in a diagonal angle. So it's actually furthest away from you in this particular moment.
I'm
No
gonna
reason in particular. It's because he holds it with his left hand.
I'm going to subtly just start moving while everyone else is talking. sort of
Yeah.
Around, flanking towards where the poodle cane is.
Mhm.
I couldn't help but notice that there are a lot of breaches, let's say, around town. I think you know what I mean. But none around your house, which is good, clever, smart. There are some other strange things that are going on here, but it's your house. Who am I to worm my eyes in? It's just, we all know that there is clearly something going on, so pretending that nothing's going on isn't going to help anyone.
Well, you
So-
already know what is going on, Mr. Rosselini. And you already have the tool which I gave you to deal with it. So I don't know why you're here.
Why do you want to help us? What do you gain from it?
I think everybody gains something from not being killed by such a creature, don't you think? I, for one, would prefer not to be killed by it either.
How do we know you're not responsible for this creature?
You don't. But I
Oh,
imagine you suspect that I am.
Well,
Can you prove you're not?
No, I cannot.
Then how do you know that doesn't make you our enemy?
I don't. All I know is that, well, if I die and that book were to disappear as a result, you would be in quite some trouble.
Can books just disappear because you do?
Perhaps
makes
they
no sense.
can. Who's to tell?
Could be a gamble.
Could be. Are you willing to take that gamble?
Are you willing to gamble your life on it?
Always. That's why I'm sitting in front of you now. You could have cut my head off already, Kage.
Still tempted.
Still time.
Always time.
I think you need to make yourself valuable to us real quick.
I have all the information you need.
Well, come on. Out with it then.
What would you like to know? He says, reaching into his goblet and picking something out of it, flicking it across the ground.
How did it get here?
More accurately, how is it able to stay here? I think. Those things
Fucking
can't
riddles.
stay here for long. And yet it finds itself in the underworld, in between our planes. What a fascinating thing it is. The fact that it can survive there. Not for too long. It's made its food off of a lot of things. And that sustained it. Its adaptability is quite impressive, don't you think?
How long has it been here?
Quite some time. Many years.
Like 10, 50, 200?
I would have to guess years are such fleeting things. 30, 40, perhaps. I wouldn't know.
Would you say around about the time that Adelaide and Isaac stopped talking?
Oh no, it's been here far longer than that.
Okay.
Not in the way that you know it, perhaps.
How long have you been here?
Now that is a question I couldn't hope to answer properly. I wouldn't know. But a long time.
Longer than it.
Oh, of course. Of course.
What would happen if we did what the book instructed? Does it go back into the underworld? Does it go to hell? Does it need to be in a vessel for us to successfully exorcise it?
It would simply go back to hell. These things can't exactly be killed properly. Unless you go to hell and kill them there, but best of luck with that. Although, Mr. Deacon, you might have a chance.
I might have a chance. Me
Yes.
specifically? Care to elaborate?
I've seen some of the bad things you've done, Mr. Deacon. You and I will be judged very harshly.
It's a good thing we have a judge here.
Isn't it? Quite.
Yes, ha ha ha. I'm the laughing stock of all Banu. Let's laugh some more.
I disagree.
We weren't laughing.
No, I think you've adapted quite well, actually. not restricted by their old laws and their ways of doing things in the old city. They were so different back then. It was so different. No, I'm proud of you. You've adapted, become something else. Not quite a child of Akim. He would be very disappointed, but who cares what he thinks?
I have a question. Well, several. Did you kill Rhiannon?
No, I did not.
Do you know who did?
Everyone knows who killed Rhiannon now. Well, those who have importance. Have you figured it out?
Are you willing to give us that cane for the ritual of exorcising?
Yes, I am. This ritual is important to me. Like I said, I don't want this thing to kill myself or any of us.
So you are willing to hand over this object?
Of course I am. It is just a cane.
I walk up to the cane.
Mm.
Go to grab it.
It slips through your hands like a wisp, like a shadow. Like
just a cane.
Just a cane.
You must understand. Just in case one of you was going to attack me, I couldn't appear just as I am.
So where are you right now?
Wouldn't you like to know? If you go wandering around long enough, I'm sure you'll find me.
I think the time is up, and I think it's time for us to be judged, as you said.
If you insist. With a brief wash, like mist, like a cloud, he washes away, slithers its way up, this mist, up towards the top staircase. It simply returns to him where he was standing the whole time, observing all of you from up there. And he opens his hands out wide. Here I am.
You want an applause?
I start walking up the stairs.
He does not move. You reach the top of the stairs.
Does he have the cane?
He does have the cane on his left side. In fact, he hoists it up, like he lifts it up, catches it, and holds it out for you.
I held the cane. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Knives is?
Just looking around as if waiting for the crackle sound to begin.
I look down at everyone as I'm holding the cane. Well, we got what we came for. Smack it down on my knee.
Does that say I would put a surprise face on, but I knew that was coming. Not in
Strength
character, obviously.
brawl, please.
Okay, succeeded
Props
that.
for this.
Strength and brawl, so I get a +2, so it's 4. Another 2, so 6. Come on, baby, come on. Let's go. Willpower.
You don't need much. It's just a cane.
I don't care. 4.
4, it splinters. And it's so old and made of this ivory and wood that even at this brief mention, it's crash and all the splinters fly out into the air and sprinkle to the ground very unceremoniously. You might have expected an explosion or fire or something, but it just crashes and breaks. And Dr. Eli just looks it up and down. Well,
I'll be like, what's that? Is the ritual going to work if you do that?
No. We
No,
need
it's-
that.
no, it
Why?
isn't.
We
Well.
Knives blinks and sucker punches Matthew in the face and pushes him down the stairs.
Strength brawl, please.
Ain't gonna fight
Since
back.
this is celerity, yeah, you can't even fight back even if you wanted to.
I feel like I have to wait for this to happen before I can react to anything.
Yeah, blink is extremely fast. It's literally a blink.
Okay, what do I roll?
Strength brawl.
Lucky Matthew. Two.
2 successes. You take a single superficial damage, Mr. Deacon, as you're rolled down the stairs before you can even blink and hit the ground. It's a bit awkwardly, but you've taken worse.
I'm still holding the 2 pieces.
I
I stand back up and I just look at Knives and I just say, "Is that the best you got?"
What? I look at Lucas. I go, what's happening here?
Get him outside.
No.
You don't have a choice anymore.
Fuck, are you playing it?
I'm not playing at anything. And then Fata Morgana, these 2, so that it looks like I'm just constantly moving forward. Hard to catch me.
Let's make some roll-offs with Fata Morgana.
Only these 2, though. Only
What?
Lucas and Kage.
I was about to say we need names. What is these two?
Oh, sorry. Kage and Lucas. Yeah. they're
What's
only
the
ones
contested
that-
roll?
It is.
And Unswayable Mind would help me here.
It does, yes. As it is trying to change your
Does it?
mind about something. Yes, anything that tries to change your mind about it, Fortitude does help.
The easiest visual hallucination. Further complications can add difficulty. I think it's just. Oh right, an audio visual hallucination. This would be different. I just need to roll a manipulation obfuscate.
Manipulation obfuscate, yep. And then they need to do
Swear.
what? Intelligence something? I think
It doesn't. I can't see anything.
It's like
here,
further
but I'm
down. It's like intelligence something.
Oh,
other.
intelligence
Yeah.
awareness.
Intelligence awareness, you 2, please.
Do a double rouse.
Knives, you're in front of Dr. Eli Faust as he sort of, his hands are still out. Give you a slight smile. Aren't we in a bit of a pickle now, aren't we?
What plans did you make with him?
I haven't made any plans or deals with anyone.
No, just handing out ritual books and... Is it even the real cave?
Ravenna, it is the real Cain. I wanted you to succeed in this ritual. I'm telling you the truth.
Okay, tell me the truth. Who killed Ravenna? If everybody in the whole town knows.
Who killed Rhiannon Zeitman? It was an accident. It was the creature.
An accident.
Yes, it was not meant to kill Rhiannon. That was not part of the deal.
You made a deal with the devil. The
Not
demon,
quite.
right? Because you're the devil.
Somewhat. If that's what you want to believe, if that's easier for you to understand. Yes, let's say yes. I don't believe any of you beat 5 successes.
Kage does.
7. Kage, you were not tricked by this Fata Morgana.
I think
that
it's
comes
messy
out.
though.
Messy, critical. You're
one's a
going
10.
you're going to suffer a harm compulsion this scene. In a social setting or a physical setting, you must grind someone down into the dirt and gloat about it and make sure you're on top. Lucas, you are tricked by this Fata Morgana as suddenly everything starts to move and Matthew Deacon just expands and disappears and reappears and becomes, and it's constantly shifting and moving in many different ways. Kage, you blink and it's over. You can see Matthew Deacon right in front of you.
And what's he doing?
What is he doing?
He's going to slowly walk back up the stairs with the 2 bits of the stick.
I'll go up the stairs. I'll put a hand on his shoulder. I'll be like, Matthew, what are you doing?
What needs to be done?
What? Talk to me. What is going on?
Leave me alone. I walk back up the stairs.
Lucas?
Oh.
Lucas actually closes his eyes and reaches out his arm. Knives, I need your help now.
She will jump over the staircase and run to Lucas.
I will go move in front of Matthew this time and put 2 hands on his shoulder and go, what are you doing?
When I see her jump off the staircase, Matthew's going to jump off the banister with the cane in hand, making a motion to try and hit her with the cane.
Well, you trying to stake Knives?
Yeah, but
I will fleetness and I will fucking intercept.
Look, okay, so a lot of things are happening at once.
Yep.
So let's have a contested roll between 3 people. So there'll be a few contests. First things first.
If it helps, I'm not actually trying to. I'm trying to make it look like I am.
Oh, interesting. Okay, in that case, we'll get...
That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, indeed. We'll get a manipulation performance from Mr. Deacon.
Doesn't matter if I hit or not.
No. It's just to convince them that you are.
That I'm hitting Knives specifically.
Yes, Knives. You can make a dexterity athletics to leap over. Kage, you can also make a dexterity athletics to swiftly move into the way of Mr. Deacon.
Question. So she's jumped off. He's jumped off after, and he looks like he's going to stake her. Is that what it looks like?
Depending on how the roll goes, you might believe that it's fake or real.
All right. Can I wait and see what his role is before I determine my action?
You have the first level celerity, so your mind moves faster. With 2 successes, I don't think that's going to be enough against Kage. Kage, you don't believe for a second that Mr. Deacon's going to do this for real, because Mr. Deacon probably couldn't stake Knives, even if he tried.
All right. In that case, I will change my objective from stopping him just to moving Knives out of the way.
Okay.
I do that.
Yeah, let's get a strength athletics.
I rolled a 5.
5 successes, incredibly fast.
One, 2, 3. I just got 3.
3. A lot of things happen at once. Mr. Deacon, you launch yourself over the side of this with this banister with your makeshift stake in hand, showing as much as you want to be able to, but you're a bit too careful about it because you know you'll plummet down and probably injure yourself. So you catch the ladder at sort of the beforehand, which indicates to Kage that you are not going to do this properly. Kage, you reach forward to move Knives out of the way. You pull the ladder slightly towards you as it rolls towards you. Knives, before this even happens, you're on the ground. You're already there. You're already at Lucas. You're incredibly fast. And before they can even blink, you are down there. You've got Lucas by the hand. And you can just hear the cackling of Dr. Eli as he's observing all of you doing this. He's just leaning forward on the banister, just watching all of you.
What's my compulsion again? It's harm, isn't it?
It is harm.
Yeah. I will hear his cackling and I will turn on him and I'll be like, I would shut your fucking face if I were you.
Oh, boy.
Go ahead, Kage. Go ahead. Tap into that little space between your heart and your mind. Let it take over you.
That's the thing. Nothing takes over me because I'm a blank slate. There's nothing here. And I will just slice at his head.
Let's get strength melee. Mr. Deacon, what would you like to do as he's
I'm basically taking going for a decapitation?
Yep.
I'm going to hold the cane and I'm going to stand in front of Knives and I'm going to say, I know you can just run around me if you wanted. But don't you just want to do it?
I will stand in front of Lucas.
Judge me.
Willpower, I got 4.
4. As you step forward, I'm going to have to make a roll myself. Sorry, he adds hunger. You bring the sword up, and as you do so, he puts the goblet in between you and the sword and actually deflects the blade last second as he lets it go. He laughs as the goblet drops to the side, fallen in half, taking a step back. And he is going to respond just by talking to you. He's going to be like, yes, that's it. Come on, a little bit closer, a little bit higher, right here, right on the neck. And I need you to make a composure resolve check, please.
What if I just want to go for it?
Indeed, you might be able to, but you have to try and resist what he's doing to you at the same time.
Yeah, composure resolve, you say?
Composure resolve. Mr. Deacon and Knives. And Lucas, what's happening down there?
I will look at Knives as she's kind of shielding Lucas. You think you can protect them for long? You think you can protect any of them from what I've just done? Serafina is going to be dead because of me. That demon is out there. Think your little buddy in the woods is going to be safe?
Knives, can you take me outside, please?
I will start walking backwards, directing Lucas to the door, but never taking her eyes off Matthew. She then... Can I blink with somebody else?
You can. You'll just need to make a strength athletics to physically carry them at the same time. While you make that roll, at the same time, Kage, 2 successes. Needs you to answer me a question truthfully. What is the worst thing that Kage has ever done? What is the thing that weighs on his mind the most? The most.
Am I answering this to Eli?
This is just to me, the storyteller,
Yeah.
because Eli's tapping into this.
Yeah. And I'm saying it even though it's something that
So
they don't know.
you're not saying this, but Eli's going to learn that information through this ability.
I guess everyone else just has to pretend they don't know what I say, right?
Yeah, it's basically like a mental thing. Like he reads you, and then he goes, "Okay, that's what you've done."
One thing I would say is, does it have to be something I directly done or something that happened as a result of me?
The thing that you feel is your worst sin. The thing that you've done.
I had one friend while I was in Japan. His name was Ryoku, and he trusted me, and I failed a task I was doing, and I failed to protect him in the Yukaza war that we were in. And he died as a result of my failures, and that weighs on me.
Yeah. Are you going to try and strike Dr. Eli again?
Yeah.
Strength melee, please.
Putting it down to my compulsion. I want to hurt him.
Yeah, go on then. Knives, how many successes?
I just realized I rolled the wrong amount of dice, so I'm going to quickly...
That's okay. Don't forget to make a rouse check for that ability as well.
I did, and now I'm hungry as fuck.
That makes sense. This is a tense scenario. A lot of things are happening.
Does her fleetness work with this?
Yes, you actually do add your celerity on top of this.
Oh,
correct.
Okay,
Good call.
So another 3 dice. So another 2.
So 5 in total?
Yes.
In the blink of an eye, Mr. Deacon, you see Knife sort of backing away, eyeing you for a moment, and then gone in the blink of an eye. The two of them vanish.
Is it possible for me to Fata Morgana to get rid of the door? Or is it
Yes.
too quick for that?
It depends. Well, it depends if Knives is coming back or is it just going outside?
Going outside to try to stop her from going outside.
It's blink. It's far too fast. You'd have to have
far too
celerity.
fast?
You'd have to have celerity.
That's
I'm
fair.
afraid. But when you blink, or when you even keep your eyes on them, they're already gone, vanished outside. Kage, with 4 successes, as you strike forward, you see Dr. Eli, this big smile across his face. He takes a step back, and as he does so, you found yourself trapped in this void of darkness around you. and Ryoku just steps forward and blocks your sword. You can see the wounds of how Ryoku died, of your past coming back to haunt you. Ryoku's screaming, "You betrayed me, you left me, I died because of you." The two of you are stuck, clashed together in this combat. All you see, Mr. Deacon, is Kage's eyes wide, clashing against nothing that is there, and Dr.
I see him struggling though against Dr.
He's
Eli.
struggling against nothing. There's nothing there.
Yeah, but I see him like trying to hit Dr. Like, I see him like engage with Dr. Eli kind of. Yeah.
Yes.
I look up. Gonna try to do Fata Morgana and have the demon show up here behind Dr. Eli.
Okay. Roll Fata Morgana. He's going to do intelligence and composure, was it?
Yeah. Intelligence and
awareness,
I think. Yeah. Hunger. And I'm going
Kage, what is going through Kage's mind at this moment?
Very confused, conflicted, and scared. I'm like, Ryoku, I tried. I didn't mean to.
You didn't try hard enough. I'm dead because of you.
It was. I didn't mean. I tried my hardest. You have to believe that.
I can't. And now it's time for you to join me as he pushes you back and starts like just that sword style that you're used to. The two of you clashing together in this prison of the mind. Knives and Lukas, you're outside, alone, away from all of this.
Sorry, I touched you.
No, when Lukas opens their eyes, are they out of the prison that they were put in?
If you go back and look at Mr. Deacon again, you'll have to do a roll again, but otherwise, since you can't see him, it's over.
I fling open the back doors of the van for Vercingetorix.
His eyes are closed. He is kneeling down, meditating still. Maybe he's listening. You're not quite sure.
Just leave the doors open.
Hmm.
And then I would like to look for a part of the house that appears to support the weight, if that makes sense. Like I would like to cause some structural damage, essentially.
So there's basically 4 pillars on each side that keep it upright. If you would damage one, it could possibly collapse a section of the house.
Knives, would you mind helping me a little? We need to be fast.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm gonna try and help. And I rush towards one of the pillars, and I begin to Aura of Decay.
Okay, make the Aura of Decay roll. Knives, what are you doing in this current moment?
I am pulling a blood bag out of my pocket and opening it and sucking it and then just waiting to see what he tells me to do.
Yeah. What's your blood potency? 1, I believe it is. You can slake 1 hunger. If you just drink it, you tear into it and drink it like as fast as you can get 1 blood point back.
Yep.
Mr. Deacon, what was it? 4 successes.
4 against Dr. Eli.
Yes. You wave your hands. You try to convince him of this thing. His eyes simply turn to you. He tuts. Not good enough, Mr. Deacon.
At this point, he's also stigmatering as well.
You see, I'm far too old for that, as he sort of leans across the banister. Kage still engaged in this. He's saying these names, Ryoku and such, and it seems like he's asking for forgiveness, whatever it is.
Do I see a window up on the 2nd floor?
There's no windows in this particular section. What are you going to do now, Mr. Deacon?
Well, to be honest, it's all kind of turned to shit, hasn't it?
Quite. Oh, believe me, I have no intention of stopping you if you wish to leave. Or do anything. This is all rather amusing.
Indeed. Let him go.
Why? So we can cut my head off?
You're strong enough.
Perhaps. I just want to watch him suffer a little bit longer. It is delightful, isn't it not?
All right, I'll give you a reason. Start throwing candelabras down.
It's quite easy as they start to lick at the beautiful carpet and some of the books laid across. He just gives a great big sigh, turns towards them. You can burn my house down, Mr. Deacon. I couldn't care less. You see, he actually holds his hand across a candle and just lets the fire touch his skin. I do not fear it anymore. But I'll play your little game. He clicks his finger. Kage, you are suddenly... You defend against an attack that never comes. You're released from this mental prison. You have actually taken nearly 15 feet backwards from where you originally were stood.
Ryoku. Now look at Eli.
As I'm pushing down the candelabra, I say, Kage, get the fuck out of here now!
I would do what your friend suggests. Or enemy? Not quite sure anymore.
I decide who my enemies are, you piece of shit.
Shall we dance one more time, Kage?
Would there have been enough for my compulsion, or is it still going, do you think?
I mean, it's up to you. Would you like to roll Fury Frenzy, maybe?
Maybe. I feel like I need to roll.
Okay. Fury Frenzy, please. Roll your remaining willpower. Lukas, how many successes?
Oh, fuck.
You begin to focus and corrode and bring part of this building almost to its knees. Knives, what are you doing in this moment?
I'm helping.
You are slashing away at this house. It's very old. These pillars are quite large, but you think after some time it'll work. How many successes, Kage?
2. The best I could get, actually.
2. Incredible. With that being the best you could get, let's say you'd stave off your fury just for this moment, as the fire itself is probably more pressing to you. It threatens not just your own life, but the shadows that you hold nearby as well.
All right, in that case, I'm going to spit at him, and then I'll walk off down the stairs.
Probably not down the stairs.
That's
where the fire is kind of starting as I'm like pushing the candelabras.
If you turn back, you've been here before. If you turn back and go through the exit, there's a big hole in the wall that you can actually get out of.
Or I'll just jump down to where Matthew is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can quite easily pass over the fire.
I look at him with like blood just, what part of get the fuck out of here do you not understand, Kage?
Because I'm the only one who hasn't been listening to his comrades today.
Well, you want to have this discussion here? So I'm like, it's just like,
I'll just say nothing and I'll just walk past him and out.
as long as he's out, I'm fine. And
I'll stop. I'm going to stop at the door and make sure he's following, though.
Not following. He sits down and he prays as the flames slowly enveloping this area.
Nephew, what are you doing?
I said, get the fuck out, Kage.
I've lost a comrade before, and I'm not doing it again now. And I'm going to go back to him, and I'm going to grab him by the arm. I'm going to try and drag him out.
He's not going to fight. He's just like, all right, this is how we're doing it.
Strength athletics. And as you're doing so, Knives, I imagine you can hear, you're the most observant with highest awareness. You can hear the licking of flames inside. You haven't seen Mr. Deacon or Kage yet, or Eli for that matter. But you know, as soon as Lukas brings this down, it's just going to be fire and rubble everywhere.
Can hear them talking still, right?
Not over the flames, I'm afraid, that have begun to burn.
What about Kage?
He'll get out.
And I smack it again.
With that smack, it brings both of you working together. A big section, a third, a quarter of the house starts to corrode, crumble, and smash its way down. Kage and Mr. Deacon, as you're sort of watching, Eli lazily makes his way down the steps, observing everything, looks disappointed almost. As you're dragging Deacon out quite easily behind him, he steps over through the flames, them not licking or touching his body at all. And he looks at you with these blinding white eyes. He just gives a smile and a slight wave.
Piss at him.
And you pull him out as that section of the building crumbles down and collapses, crossing the doorway, crushing any way of coming back inside unless it was through a window or such. Knives and Lukas, you can see Mr. Deacon and Kage here as well.
I'm gonna
Where
drag.
where were the symbols? Were they attached to the house or to the
All
land?
over the house.
I
All
could
over.
I could guide you to them.
Even by taking this section out, you've ruined majority of the symbols.
Oh fuck.
I'm just gonna drag Matthew a decent distance from basically towards the van, and like maybe once we're 5 meters away from the van, I'll let go of him there, just kind of leave him there. I'm gonna go check on Vercingetorix.
Kage, as you sort of, I imagine, roughly let him go. And
much.
that's as you see Vercingetorix. The van tilts down towards the ground with his weight as he steps out of the van, cracks his back, and sort of looks towards you, giving a slight nod.
We're in Obertron, aren't we?
Yes, you are.
I'm gonna turn back to everyone and I'll be like, especially looking at Matthew, like, I don't know what happened tonight. We'll talk about tomorrow. Everyone should go to bed. The sun's due. And I'm just gonna nod to Vercingetorix and walk off with him.
As you do so, he puts his hand like on your shoulder and like looks towards the flames of the building. Sharp eyes observing. So you hear that. Go ahead, Knives.
She just says, what are we letting out of here?
And as you say that, it's that cackling, deep, grating voice like glass on glass. As the flames lick up and form these huge blue wings of the fiendish creature as it cackles with its serrated, shark-like teeth. Brings its wings out, extends them to their full length that you've not seen before. Its body seems to have grown. It's larger now. The flames lick at its body but don't touch it. And it breathes in before it fixes its gaze on all of you. And it is here we are going to end tonight's session of Hallstatt by Night with a great heresy. So, let's reintroduce our wonderful cast of Kindred, starting with Lukas, and tell us where we can find you and what you're up to as well.
Everyone, I was Lukas Rosselini, aka Dr. Andrew Miles. I'm Satanic__Bunny. You can find me on Twitch at Satanic__Bunny and on Twitter at Satanic Bunny 2.
Hello, everyone. I'm Unemployed Writer, aka Chris, and I played Matthew Deacon.
And Matthew Deacon played everyone.
Including himself.
Including himself. And I wouldn't have it any other way.
I'm Jonno. I played Kage La Sombra. I am all sorts of torn and confused and hurt. So yeah.
Oh wait, hang on. I didn't shill. Fracturing
Gotta.
of Chicago tomorrow night. Aaron Music Productions rerun on Roleplay Nights. Cool.
I was just going to do that, but
Okay.
fine.
Do it twice.
Hi, I am Novatorium, the most innocent of all. And I have no fucking idea what's happening. And you can't find me anywhere apart from in the chat and Aaron Music Productions, saying dumb stuff and chatting up raw. That's my what the fuck is happening song.
That was brilliant.
I love it. Copyright that immediately.
Can we find you on Spotify?
I'll listen to it.
Altitude.
It makes it better. I'm Ethan, the storyteller of this wonderful chaotic coterie. Not even a coterie, just a group of kindred that decided to work together somewhat. And you can find me here, obviously. Tomorrow's an exciting day. We're going through some big rebranding of the channel, so get excited. We're still working on a lot of the rebranding for things, but big shakeups happening, which is going to be fun. New banners. I know. Tomorrow, I haven't activated anything yet, but it's all prepared and ready. Just got to figure out a few more things. But if you want to see me fumble with a bunch of new overlays and things tomorrow and have everything not work, I'll be starting an early stream tomorrow. But yes,
I want to say.
but yes, catch us next week for getting towards the end of Hallstatt by Night. Whether that be ruin or ruin. And
I'm like, there's no other option.
And please jump in tomorrow. I'll be in chat with Roleplay Nights watching their Fracturing of Chicago, which is a wonderful game. They put a lot of effort into that. So please either, jump in there, see me in chat, or jump into my chat and we'll raid them and then we'll all be there. Yes. We'll see you next week for more Hallstatt by Night. See you then.